Good evening. Welcome to CL's YT channel for law aspirants. We're doing CLAT 2025 must do RC series. Let me just get your chat fixed on my phone and then we can start. Let me know if you can see me and hear me clearly. No, this is not right. Hold on. All right. As usual, no, this is not right. My chat hasn't opened up. Let me try again. Chat hasn't opened up. Let me try. All right. If you can see me and hear me clearly, give me a thumbs up. I also will know if my chat is working. Fine. Ah, I can. Hello, Divyansh. Hello, Mukti. Good evening. All right. I'm wearing my wrong specs, so I'll be squinting at the screen today. I have two specs, one for the computer, one for normal vision. I wore the wrong specs. I can't go and disturb the class. Today I have a very interesting passage. I picked it up from the Hindu as usual, or did I pick it up from some other passage? I'm not sure. All right. But it's a good one about judges, Supreme Court scolding judges. I thought this is something new my students need to see. This it's also since it is related to law, that is the first thing I picked up. All right. Again, as usual, I'll put the timer on. I'll give you 1 minute per slide. Read, simplify in your own words as you read, and try to understand the main point in the slide. All right, your time starts now. All right, 1 minute up. I hope you people could read the slide. Let me move to the next one. All right. Again, 1 minute, and then I'll summarize the passage for you. 1 minute is up. I hope you could finish reading. Let's go back to the beginning of the passage and see if you summarize the passage like I will do now. The Supreme Court of India has rapped judges over the knuckles. When somebody raps you over the knuckles, your hand is there, somebody hits you on the hand. It means punish, but here it means criticize. Obviously, has rapped judges over the knuckles, criticizes judges, asking them to refrain from making casual observations that will reveal their communal bias or misogyny. They said, don't make remarks which show your bias, which show your misogyny. Miss means any word generally if the starting or the prefix is miss. Not all words. If the word is part of, if miss is part of the word, that is different. But if it's a prefix, miss means hate. Misogyny means hatred of women. Gyne means women. So misogyny means hatred of women. So they said, don't make remarks which show that you don't like women, you don't like a particular community. Don't make such remarks. And judicial proceedings are live streamed in some courts across the country. One of the best things which has happened, with a wide reach beyond four walls of a courtroom. And the top court was firm that judges and everyone in the judicial fraternity means brotherhood, right? Everybody who's part of the judicial network must be aware of their responsibility and act accordingly. They shouldn't go around making remarks which are not befitting that of a judge or a person who works in the judiciary. The heart and soul of judging is to be fair, it observed, and noted that judges must strictly adhere. Adhere means to stick to the values laid down by the Constitution, not be guided by prejudice. Taking suo moto cognizance. Suo moto means of its own accord. Normally, the judiciary in the country, the courts cannot act unless you start a case. You go to the court with a grievance, the court will act. That's the normal way. But for certain things, the court takes suo moto cognizance. It acts on its own. So here the court took suo moto cognizance of the video clip featuring Karnataka High Court Judge V. Srishananda and his sexist comments to a woman lawyer on two separate judicial proceedings. A five judge special bench headed by Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, observed in its order that off the cuff remarks means just casual comments by judges show them in a negative light and impact the entire judicial institutions adversely. Adversely means negatively. All right. So basically, the court saw this video clip of a Karnataka High Court judge who made some statement to a woman lawyer. That statement was very anti women. So the Chief Justice of India said, do not make such comments because you are showing the entire judiciary in a negative light and it is going to impact the judiciary negatively. Do not get confused between averse and adverse. If you are reluctant to do something, then you'll say, I am averse to it, don't like it. Reluctant, don't like. Adverse means negative. All right. So, on a previous occasion, the Karnataka High Court judge has referred to a Muslim dominated locality in West Bangalore as Pakistan. So this judge, this is not the first time. First, he made a very a very sexist remark against a woman lawyer. Next, another time earlier, he had called a area dominated by a certain community as Pakistan. Muslim dominated area, you're Pakistan. Very negative. How can you expect a judge to talk like this? Therefore, this is fundamentally wrong under the constitution. Every religion, people of every religion are there in India. How can you call a Muslim dominated area Pakistan? You can't call any part of the territory of India Pakistan. This is fundamentally wrong under the constitution. What do you mean? It shows the judge's bias, and the Chief Justice was pretty upset. All right, next. The judge apologized. Yes, it was in today's, Arman. Yes. The judge apologized after the suo moto notice. So he got this notice. The court on its own, the Supreme Court sent him this notice saying, why did you do this? He called it a contrite apology. Do you know something called redundancy? Contrite means sorry. Okay, feeling sorry. If you're sorry about something, you say, I'm contrite about it. Contrite apology, I'm sorry. So it's a redundancy. The top, that's why it has been given in quotation marks. Now, in a higher level exam. Generally in CLAT they don't, but in higher level exam they'll ask, what is it? What do you think? Why do you think contrite apology has been given in quotation marks? Because it the author wants you to notice that expression is not correct, so he wants to highlight that. The top quote said it was concluding the proceedings. All right, we will take your apology. We'll conclude the proceedings. We'll not take this matter further, but not before making several observations in open court. So in the court they made several observations. What were they? One, advised, in fact, Attorney General, when this whole thing was happening in the open court, Attorney General R. Venkatramani and Solicitor General Tushar Mehta asked the court to hold the procedure in house. In house means under closed doors, so nobody else can see, instead of an open court, so that its remarks are not misrepresented on social media later. They said, have this whole case, let's have it in private, uh, not in house. Do not have an open court, otherwise people will misrepresent us. But the CJI, the Chief Justice of India, said no. The answer to sunlight is more sunlight. The answer is not to close our doors and shut out everything. If we've made a mistake, if a judge has made a mistake, let everyone know. So therefore, it was held in open court. Last month too, the court had cautioned a judge of the Punjab and Haryana High Court to stop making random, unwarranted means unnecessary remarks during proceedings. So the author has given a whole lot of incidents when judges have made very unpleasant, unwarranted, wrong remarks, but he hasn't exactly told us what. In 2023, the court released a handbook to combat general stereotyping. Do you think it will work? It won't. But they just using the right term. Well, sometime later maybe it will, to combat general stereotyping within the judiciary, aiming to assist the legal community in identifying, understanding, and combating stereotypes about women. It came out with a glossary, an entire list of gender unjust terms, suggesting alternative words or phrases to be used while drafting pleadings as well as orders and judgments. Some people say, just by changing the language, will you really change anything? Actually, language is important, very important. Earlier they used to say chairman, 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 or player. They used to use only male terms. They said that from childhood girls would think, oh, that's a man's job, it's not supposed to be that of a woman. It's the way you're conditioned. So language is important. I mean, I'm saying it in another context. So sometimes students ask, just by changing lists of terms that should not be used against women, will societal attitude change? Well, this is one small step. This is one small step, right? And not, it will take a long time. It will take a lot of other chief justice remarks, lot of suo moto action by the Supreme Court to eventually change people's attitudes. But yes, this is a start. It is imperative means urgent, important, for court officials to be gender sensitized. The judicial ecosystem must run without any bias towards any community, gender and also community. It should be fair, it should not be biased or have any prejudices, either on the basis of gender or on the basis of community. Stereotyping a person on the lines of gender or religion will perpetuate means continue harmful inequalities, and carriers of justice should be mindful. So can you imagine people who are carriers of justice working in the judiciary? They will get cases. Somebody would say a wrong has done to me on the basis of religion, or a wrong has been done to me because I'm a woman, and here you have judges with biases and prejudices. Then how can justice be done? So carriers of justice should be mindful of this all the time. It's very important to be mindful of it all the time. For other sections of society, it's not as important as a person who's dispensing justice. He should be objective. He should not be biased. They should not be biased. Right? That's important. So, this is the passage. Easy one, interesting one. Let's now read the question. Why has the author written the passage? I told you every class I want you to get the primary purpose, main theme correct after one reading of the passage. That should be our purpose, because in every exam, if you're getting 24 questions, 26 questions, whatever in English, 24 in English and 24 in logical reasoning, one will be on the main argument, main theme, at least one, sometimes four or five. Every passage, one question will be related to the main theme. So you should know every time you read a passage what is the main theme or what is the author's intention in writing the passage. Why has the author written the passage? Which one is it? To explain the recent criticism of the Supreme Court on the untoward means wrong, behavior of judges, to elucidate means explain and clarify, the responsibility of judges to avoid societal stereotypes, to highlight the importance of judicial accountability and impartiality in their decisions, or to underpin the importance of constitutional values in avoiding gender bias and other stereotypes. So remember, for the main point, the key point has to be there. What is the author saying? Any option which talks about one of the points mentioned need not be the main one, right? The passage has, I've seen only Mukti's answer. What about the rest? Quickly give me your answers. Yeah, recent criticism of the Supreme Court, yes, but is it untoward behavior of the judges? You can call it untoward remarks. Yes, it can be called wrongful behavior, wrong remarks. But is it to explain that he has mentioned it? Has he only explained the criticism of the Supreme Court? He's gone beyond that. To elucidate means to, again, clarify the responsibility of judges. This is what the Supreme Court Chief Justice said. To avoid societal stereotypes. This is rather general, in a way ambiguous. To avoid gender bias and to avoid bias based on gender and religion, right? But that is not, again, that is not the main point. To highlight, to bring to light the importance of judicial accountability. You are a judge. You cannot make irresponsible comments. Second, you should be always fair. So both the things have been there in C. Yes, this the Chief Justice's remarks were on this, but the author has also talked about the first part of it. One is to be impartial and not avoiding societal stereotypes, avoiding bias, or making sure they're not prejudiced. So this kind of is ambiguous. But here he says judicial accountability in what terms? You cannot just make random remarks. You can't just make any remark that comes to your mind. Second, you have to be impartial. So C is the correct answer. Right? All others are partially correct. They close. They're all partially correct. So your primary purpose and main point, sometimes if they want to make it difficult, they'll keep one of the points mentioned would be one of the answers. D is too broad. Okay, but constitutional values, again, what do you mean by constitution? It's against the constitution to call any part of India Pakistan. Gender bias and other stereotypes, it's not just that, it's main in terms of and for whom. The judges and judiciary is not mentioned here, so this could relate to any of us. So it is too broad, right? It can relate to any of us. The key is judges have to be accountable, judges have to be impartial. That statement has to come out, and that comes out in option C. Got it? Good. All right. Next question. What is the meaning? The Chief Justice said the proceedings were held in open court. The Advocate General and somebody else said, "Why don't we have it in house?" But the Chief Justice retorted that the answer to sunlight is more sunlight. The answer is not to close our doors and shut out everything, right? So, what does it mean? So, this is just what does this sentence mean in the context of the passage? Is it A, B, C, or D? I'll again keep the timer on for a minute. Give me your answers within that time. Clock in your answers quickly. Judges should limit public access to court proceedings to prevent misinterpretation. Judges should make more private comments to avoid public backlash. Judges should be open and accountable instead of hiding from scrutiny. Or judges should avoid engaging with social media to avoid misrepresentation. Answer to sunlight is more sunlight, and the answer is not to close our doors. Let more sunlight in. Don't close your doors to shut out everything. Limit public access does not mean don't close your doors. More private comments not goes with. Avoid public backlash. If you've done something wrong, face it, he says. Open and accountable. Right? Good. All right. Question 3. What can be inferred about the judiciary in India? What can you infer about the judiciary in India based on what has been given in the passage? Judges in India damage the integrity of the Indian judiciary with their insensitive comments. Judges in India get away with unconstitutional behavior due to lack of accountability. Judges behave with impunity as they are beyond public scrutiny, or there are underlying prejudices that need to be addressed within the judiciary. Which one of these is 100% true based on what is given in the passage? The moment you have a slight doubt, well, this is correct, but did the author really say this? Can I say this is 100% true? When you have a doubt, that cannot be the correct answer. I'll take you back to the passage here where I'll show you why a particular option is correct or wrong. Okay. Give me the question number when you give your answer. I think today Mukti was the first to give the answer to this. Let me see other answers quickly. Question marks not allowed in the answer, huh? Okay, here let's go back to the first part. Okay, here it all judges who are doing this? He just said that after, sorry, he has wrapped judges asking them to refrain. Okay, what it said is this was after listening to some judges behaving like this. So can we say that all judges all judges in India damage the integrity of the Indian judiciary? All judges. Supreme Court talked about judges, told judges to be careful, taking the instance of a few incidents. This indicates all judges in India. So again, you are doubtful. No, no. The Supreme Court action was taken after a few judges made some comments. And then the Supreme Court said you must be responsible. So based on that, we can't say all judges in India act like this. Therefore, that is slightly sweeping. All right. Judges in India get away with unconstitutional behavior. There is a lack of accountability. But again, they escape, you can't say, because in this case, the Supreme Court sent a notice to the judge asking, why did you make this remark? So you can't say that judges get away always, right? So lack of accountability. Then the Supreme Court has the Supreme Court already told the judge, why did you act like that? The judge gave his apology. So this is, you can't infer this. Judges behave with, they're not beyond public scrutiny nowadays. Cases are being streamed, so there are prejudices in the judiciary. This came to light. It was shocking that it came to light. See, even the editorial has not mentioned the. He just said earlier there was this case where some remark was made. Even the editorial has not mentioned. There are many cases when judges have come up with statements which have been, when you read it, you say, really, a judge has made this statement? What will be the state of the country? Because you expect a person who has read the law, constitution, after so many years as a lawyer, then only they, I mean, no, anybody and everybody cannot become a judge, right? You need a certain number of years of experience. You need to build up your reputation, and then you're appointed as a judge only after all that is proven. And suddenly, here you find judges making statements. There are prejudices that need to be addressed. Gender bias, community bias, all that has to be addressed within the judiciary. All right. What is the, this is a straight, direct question. What is the core of judging according to the information given in the passage? Prejudice, fairness, knowledge, transparency. If you want to go back to the passage, you are in doubt, I can take you back to the passage, because sometimes when you are asked questions like this, you may not remember exactly what had been given. What is the core of judging, the key point of judging? Okay, that has been given in the passage. So let me go back to the passage if you need. Okay, if you need to go back to the passage, I'll just show you the slide. Sorry. First slide. Okay, I show it to you for 10 more seconds and then I'll go to the question. Whenever you are in doubt, you feel I have not read it, I read it too quickly, then go back to the passage and cross check. I was recording some mock today and I did not agree with the answer. That's because I had misread the passage. So, what is the core of judging? The core of judging is to be fair or fairness. Okay, the heart and soul of judging is fairness. So to be fair, that is the core of judgment. All right, which is a good, most appropriate title for the passage? Normally I don't give a primary purpose and title, but I thought we haven't done any title question for long. Next time I'll pick up something where the tone, here the tone is very obvious, so I did not give a tone question. The passage was very tempting. What's a good title for the passage? No question marks, Mukti. Give me your answer without the question mark. Arman, question marks not allowed in your answers. Aman, sorry. So ask yourself, what is the story of the passage? Which option captures the story in one or two words? That's the answer. Judicial language. Yes, it is about judicial language. But does it tell you the story about how that language has been inappropriate? No. How has it been inappropriate? In terms of prejudice, community, communal, and gender. Judge and judgment again don't tell you. Judicial proceedings definitely don't. Therefore, the correct answer is option B. Okay, quickly, let's go back to some of the questions, some of the uh, um, words here. All right. Wrapped over the knuckles. This is one. All right. Then the other one is something off the cuff. Off the cuff means casual. Okay, I did it off the cuff. Cognizance. What does cognizance mean? In this case, what does it mean? Suo moto cognizance. Acknowledgement. Generally, cognizance means awareness, right? Awareness, or in this case, it means acknowledgement. All right. Perpetuate, I told you, means continue. All right. Any questions? Any doubts? Any questions? Any doubts? None? I normally have 7 or 8 questions, but I picked up today's passage, had 5. Next time we'll make up for it by having 10 questions. All right? Okay, if you have no questions, no doubts, we shall. Any questions? No. All right. Hope you enjoyed the session. See you again next Monday. Yes, I'll choose something where the tone would be here. So this tone here, the tone is critical, right? Critical about the subject, which is the judge's behavior. That's very easy. So that's why I didn't pick a tone question. Next time I'll do a style and tone, or I'll pick up a passage which where there could be, or I could pick up a paragraph of the passage where there might be a little confusion on style and tone. All right. Okay. I'll see you all then. Bye bye. See you again next Monday, same time. Bye. Assumption question is part of LR, but I am giving assumption questions as part of your RC itself. Normally, it's part of the logical reasoning section. In English, in CLAT, they are mixing up everything. So, conclusion, inference, assumption, I'm asking all questions. Array, philosophy na mukti, I can happily give, but students don't like it. So the problem with a YT session is in half an hour, if I give you a passage which is so tough to read and I say read it in 1 minute. Now, if I give it to you for 2 minutes to read the slide, you get bored because I keep quiet by the time when you all are reading. But what I'll do is I will get you so a short, easy passage and a short philosophical paragraph. Okay, or if I can get an easy philosophical passage, I'll give you. Literature is something I wanted to give next time. For that, economy, yes, economy we can do literature. uh, Economy based would be good. Today I found one passage on inflation, but I said okay. The point here is only practice for the mock obviously we make at a different level. Okay, the point of YT is it's RC practice. Okay, but I'll give you economy. I'll keep in mind and do economy. All right. Uh, you want to do poems? Poems are very easy. When I do a poem, I have to give one poem and one RC. Just poem, बहुत जल्दी people finish reading it. Or if I give you a poem, I have to give you a long one. Good idea. Good idea. Okay. We shall do economy, philosophy, poem in that order. All right? Okay, fine. Let's do poems where we can have lots of figures of speech questions. All right? Okay, will do. See you. Bye bye.